Well, hello, my lovelies, and welcome to Kathmandu. Really?
No, sorry, Jason, sorry.
I got some notes for you.
No, thank you. Hello, my lovelies, and welcome to Kathmandu, Gurkha, Ripley. It's Friday evening, it's just gone 5 o'clock. We're looking forward to a Friday night service, but something rather special is happening today. We are going to be visited by a big friend of the channel and a big supporter and a vibrant member of the community. Why are you looking at me like that? The lovely Alan Simpson is coming to see us tonight. Rather excited about that. And he's due sometime around the 6 o'clock mark. So hopefully we'll get the chance to film a little bit with him. We've got a birthday party here tonight. Yeah, so the lovely Alan Simpson is coming to see us. We're all very excited about that. So hopefully it's going to be a fun evening. I'm very excited. You're very excited about this evening.
Excited.
He's very excited. You heard it
What was
yourself.
his name again?
Alan.
Alan. Excited to meet Alan?
Money talks, but it don't sing a dance and it don't work.
त्यो वेटिङ आएको छ है त्यो वेटिङ आएको छ
How is the video quality, Jason?
On the new phone,
Yeah.
really, really good.
Did you go on the Pro or Pro Max?
Pro.
Pro, yeah?
Yeah.
I want to have a look on the size, so please bring it tomorrow, yeah?
Yeah, it's 6.3
It's
screen.
6.3, bigger than mine, so
Yeah.
just want to have a look. Don't forget to bring it tomorrow. Otherwise, you might be in big trouble.
So then, guys, setting up for this evening's service. This is obviously going to be the big table for the birthday party.
It's not worth it.
Is it not? Oh.
You're wrong.
Oh, okay. There you go. I'm wrong. Made a lifetime of being wrong.
Did you miss me, Jason?
Of course I missed you. So, I thought we would put the lovely Alan here on table 8.
Only you today because that Ashish.
Are you joking?
No, Ashish car not working. Already called to 2:30, and he trying to fix it, but no. In last minute, his mechanic said no. So he said, please arrange today and tomorrow. If I am not coming, and I send it to another.
Right then, darlings. Talk about the best laid plans of mice and men, aft gunning a glay and all of that. Oh, bloody hell. So, bloody driver didn't turn up. Not his fault. Not his fault, to be fair. Aziz is he's a good guy, very reliable, nice guy. Unfortunately, his car was in for repair. He was assured it would be repaired today, and unfortunately it hasn't been, and this was all last minute. So I've got no driver, and you know what that means, darlings? It means I've been running around like a blue-ass fly doing deliveries. Well, my guest is sitting in the restaurant on his own. Oh dear, bloody annoying. I'm rushing in, grabbing the delivery, rushing out, and they said, oh, he's a really lovely guy. I was like, oh, that's nice, that's lovely. I would have liked to have met him myself. Oh, God above. Anyway, he's, oh, hello, I'm being ping-ponged. He will be, he's had his meal, I think, or he was finishing his meal when I popped out on this delivery. So, the plan is, he's going to come out with me on the next few, and we'll make a little film of our. Oh what? Leave me alone. We'll make a little film of our chat. So poor sod, he's been driving all day, come down from Aberdeen. Apologies for that. All the way down from Aberdeen. He's got to stay in Birmingham tonight, the poor devil. And he's getting dragged out, effectively being taken out to work. I tell you what, if we get the tips, I'll go ours with him. Right, so when I come back, there should be 2 of us in the car, and one of us won't be me.
Not been in a 25 for ages.
Right then, darlings, as promised, I am not alone. Hang on. Right, if you have a look there, you can see a gentleman by the name of Alan, but as soon as the interior light goes off, we will both disappear, so I'll just turn the camera around. So, there you are. Alan Simpson has been in the building, and now he's in the car, because I'm dragging the poor sod out on a delivery. Honestly, come and visit the restaurant and we'll send you out to work.
Greetings, honourable community.
Oh, greetings.
We did bow, we did curtsy.
We did.
Should have worn a kilt and I could have curtsied properly. my fellow countrymen will be like disowning me. I'll never get back over the border.
Now, Alan said something that intrigued me, and I told him not to reply until the camera was on, because we were standing outside the car, and he said, I feel like I'm in New York, which to me was an unlikely comment, given that Ripley and New York are not at first glance similar. What did you mean by it?
Well, I went to New York back in 2000 when one of my friends was doing Camp America. Never been before, but I think because you see New York so often on TV programs and films, you feel like you've been there already. Every time you turn a corner, you feel like you're on a film set. And that's what Ripley feels like from watching all Boaty's various daily videos and everything. I kind of feel like I know the place already. So it was very surreal walking into the restaurant for the first time and seeing all the things that appeared on camera. Walking around the back and seeing Windsor Davis and Janet Jackson. Not a combo we often put together, but they were there. And it was beautiful.
I don't want that image in my mind of Windsor Davis and Janet Jackson.
Especially if Janet's had another wardrobe malfunction.
Oh God, yeah.
I'm not planning to have one of those tonight, so you're alright.
Disgusting. Never before have I seen such a display of blatant boobery. Never in my life.
Apart from the woman with the camper van.
Yeah. Oh God, I don't know how we got away with that. I don't know, she's fine, she's absolutely fine with it. She found it hilarious. She's given me carte blanche to discuss her knockers at length whenever I fancy it.
Does that mean she has lengthy knockers?
Oh dear God. So what did you have to eat?
I had some poppadoms with the very tasty dips to start. Then I had a skewer that had, I think, a bit of lamb, a bit of prawn, and something else on it with a little welcome written in sauce on the plate. It was beautiful. And then I lost my Momo virginity. So I feel like a new man sitting here. I feel like I need some sort of a Gurkha or Nepalese cigarette or something now, having lost my Momo virginity. And then I had a lamb dish.
What did you think of the Momo?
The Momo were absolutely beautiful. It was like a cross between a sort of dumpling or a sort of tortellini, I kind of felt, texture-wise.
Yeah.
And then big whack of lamb in the middle. So yeah, absolutely beautiful. I can see exactly what all the fuss is about.
Did you have the chutney?
Yes, I did. How could I not have the chutney? The chutney has been immortalised.
Yeah.
I'm a bit of a wimp, so I think they went easy on me and gave me the milder versions, but it was so flavoursome.
Good. And for your main?
For my main, I'm trying to remember what the name of the lamb dish was. It was one of the special dishes of the restaurant, and it was lamb based.
Was it for like supremes of lamb?
Yes, that's exactly what it was.
Then that would have been the lamb cucura masala.
That sounds like the very beast.
Aye. Sorry, I keep saying aye. I don't know why I'm being sympathetically Scottish.
I love it. Keep going, by all means. So I have to break it to some sort of Scottish song at some point. Impromptu rendition of Donald Where's Your Trousers or something.
Oh God, I love that. That was re-released, wasn't it? In the, God, would it have been 89 or something like that?
Yeah, I think it was when Andy Stewart died, they re-released it. And then Ken Bruce, I think, released a version for charity.
Oh, did he?
at some point as well. Yeah, I'm sure Ken Bruce has done something with trousers.
I miss Ken Bruce.
Me too. I do still listen to him on Greatest Hits Radio sometimes, but you realise that some of these local radio stations don't have the same tech as the BBC, so the Greatest
Yeah.
Hits app's a real scutter to try and get it to work. So if I'm ever so slightly late, I've usually got to wait for hours until the show uploads.
I wonder if he still plays Santa's a Scotsman. That was when you really knew it was Christmas, when he
Yes.
first played Santa's a Scotsman.
And the Ken Bruce Christmas decoration would get released as well. You could print off, hang on your tree. Should do a whole Ken Bruce advent calendar. I would do the job.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got totally addicted to Popmaster. That was one of the greatest things about being able to work from home during lockdown, was the fact that, because I wasn't in an office, I could hear Popmaster every day.
Yeah, I used to be a Popmaster addict. What's the best score you've ever got?
I think there was one day I managed to get 2 39s in the same day, and I felt like declaring a public holiday. It was like that rare and that impressive. It's like running around my flat with my shirt over my head for a good 10 minutes after that.
Yeah, well, you would do. I got 36 a few times. Never got a 39. There was always one that scuppered me.
It's usually a guess of the year that would be 1 year out. You're like, no.
I didn't realise it was Phil Swern who set the questions.
Yeah, that's right. And I think he must have been involved with the ones on 10 at the top as well. Because there's quite a lot of times where I've listened to both quizzes and there'll be similar questions come up like a day apart, and you're like, I've heard that already.
Ah, right, because I've not listened to that. When people bugger off from Radio 2, Radio 4 is a constant. I will always have that. But Radio 2, when Wogan went, I stopped listening to the morning show. Oh God, who was next? Graham Norton.
Oh yeah, Graham Norton went. Yeah.
When Graham Norton went, I stopped listening to the Sunday evening show. Then when Ken Bruce went, I stopped listening to Radio 2 at all, apart from Lisa Tarbuck on a Saturday night.
Lisa Tarbuck's brilliant.
I love Lisa Tarbuck.
I'm trying to work out if she's drinking while she's doing her show, and you just kind of get steadily more pickled as time goes on.
Oh, that used to be Wogan at the Eurovisions, didn't it?
Yes, exactly that.
Oh God, that was so good. He could hardly speak at the end of it.
She finds some absolutely amazing songs as well, Lisa Tarbuck.
Yeah, one of my there's a song on my constant playlist, Miriam Makeba, a song called Pata Pata. Never heard of it, and it's one of my favourite things in the world now, and that was off Lisa Tarbuck.
There was one she played once, and it was this sort of Afro-Caribbeans guy, I think. Every second line was, I've just kissed my baby. So anytime anything kind of happened in our car for the rest of the journey, got a question about something and I've just kissed my baby. Tries even better in a sort of slightly Scottish voice as well, although slightly sinister.
Yeah.
Just kissed my baby. I'm gonna eat you.
How did you come onto the live streams then? How did
I discover you?
Yeah.
Through Mustard.
Oh, right.
I think there was one day where Mustard's various Project Nigel updates popped up on, I think, my channel, on that usual YouTube. Oh, I see you're watching this person. Have you considered this one? I went, no, I haven't. Let's consider this person. And then it was, I think, the video where you both went to get the Rover 600 and you met the man that tried to sell you the fridge.
Oh, God, that one. Oh,
yes.
That was so funny.
So I spotted you in Mustard's video and I'm like, I recognise that man, and I can't think why. And then I think I watched another one of your videos and it panned out to Dick a Dum Dum. And I'm like, oh, of course, you're the man that bought Joseph Lloyd's old Rover. And after that I was like, right, okay, I'm going to't watch some more of your back content. And then along came the live streams. So this looks like fun.
Turn left where? Oh, there, okay.
The stealthy BMW's coming out.
In about 1 mile,
Was a bit
turn
stealthy,
left
wasn't it?
onto Pisa.
Yeah, it was giving me gangster vibes, definitely. Is there a seedy underworld of Ripley?
I think I'm it.
That's a good claim to fame.
There's all the, no doubt there are all the normal things. There are some, well, I presume that there are some drug dealers around, because there are certainly some people who are perpetually off their tits around the old town square.
seen falling out of Range Rovers and paying for everything with cash.
I've never actually seen a drug dealer. I've just seen some people off their tits on their produce.
Which suggests there must be one around somewhere in that case.
Exactly. Either that or the local Wetherspoons serve some really spicy vodka. Hello, what's happening here?
Anything is possible. So yeah, I was well excited to discover that you were a fellow Little Chef fan as well.
Oh yeah. I mean, I can't begin to approach your level of knowledge and expertise, obviously. I just have really fond memories of Little Chefs. They were a massive part of my childhood.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. My mum couldn't go more than about 2 hours without a fag and a coffee whenever we went anywhere. Given that most of our holidays were in Britain with a caravan getting towed behind the car, it meant that you were stopping quite often on the British roads. And I think my parents were really worried that I would get bored in the back of the car, so they used to assign me the map reading duties.
Okay.
And that meant I was in charge of the stops as well.
Aha.
So, yeah, I got to know the Little Chefs. Then you went into Little Chefs, they would hand you a free map. You were like, oh, there's more of these, let's go and try them. So yeah, before I knew it, I was completely doctorated at the world of Little Chef. And yeah.
Did you have a favourite meal? And a favourite period?
Yeah, very much. I grew up as a kid with the kids' space menu, so I used to have a thing called the Space Chef's Grill, which I think was sausage, egg and chips, basically.
Right, okay.
So I grew up on a diet of that. I remember one day managing quite impressively to fire the whole thing into my lap. I think I must have hit the fork on the corner of the plate and the whole thing just tipped.
Oh God.
I managed to salvage most of it. But yeah, that was always my go-to as a child. Then I would have the wee sort of cherry ice cream sundae afterwards.
Onto Peace Hill.
I don't remember what I had as a kid, but certainly as a teenager, it was the Big 7 burger.
Yes. Well, there was a whole series of postcards they did back in the 80s, and one of them was all about the Big 7 cheeseburger. It was going on about being like the big American thing, and there was a cowboy sitting in a Little Chef with lots of other American type folk sitting around him as his Big 7 cheeseburger was served to him.
And I used to have it with, as it came, but with a side salad. And I can just remember that the Big 7 burger was served on an oval plate, and the side salad was actually served on like a curved side plate that jutted up perfectly around the oval plate. And I loved that. I was so impressed by that.
You see, 40 that owned
and it
Little
had
Chef,
celery on it,
which is a rarity.
Yeah.
Back in those days, the 40 that owned Little Chef from 1970 to about 1995 were just. They got it. They knew exactly how to get the best out of Little Chef. They were the masters of merchandising. Yeah. So, yeah, everything was branded for a start. So, even the carpet was branded back in the 80s. You had like the proper sort of Little Chef carpet going on. And you had the little shop, and you had all the branded sort of plates and the placemats. Oh, I would kill for a set of the placemats.
I'd forgotten about those until you put the picture in the Facebook group.
Yeah, it was funny. I remember one of my Anaraki things I do, or many Anaraki things I do, but one of them is trying to, I set myself the challenge one day of trying to work out where every Little Chef that ever existed had been. Yeah, it's taken me to some weird and wonderful places, but I'd gone to the site of an old one in Scotland, and I'd found what had obviously been a shed they'd stashed a whole load of old stuff in, and it had kind of fallen down by this point, so it was like a treasure trove. And I'm like, I wonder if there's any placemats around here. And there was all these old sort of awnings and everything that were all kind of Little Chef branded, just sitting on the ground.
At the roundabout, take the third exit onto Derby Road.
I think I lifted one up and started digging, and then I found like half of a placemat. And I'm like, oh, this is amazing. But I couldn't find any more, so I have half a very soiled placemat in my collection. And that's the closest I have come.
What else do you have?
I've taken some things with me today, in case you were interested.
Of course I'm interested.
I've got as many of the maps that I can basically get my hands on. I've got an old menu, I've got the old road atlases, I've got...
to Chapel Street.
What else have I got? Some old Happy Eater stuff as well. But yeah, absolutely tons of stuff. Back in the 90s, they were almost kind of like big blackboards that they had on the wall. It used to say Little Chef recommends.
Right.
And they would put like a sort of special of the day on them. And I'd always wanted to get my hands on one of those. So I think I'd been down in Northumberland, and there was an old branch at Alnwick that had basically sat kind of abandoned for years, but it was always totally, I suppose, kind of pretty well secured, so you couldn't get into it. And this one day I'd stopped and someone had smashed the bottom of the fire door. I reckon I could get through there. So I covered myself with all sorts of makeshift PPE that I find in the back of my car, so like wellies and waterproof trousers and gloves and stuff, and crawled into this hanging little chef basically. It was just absolutely rank inside.
Bloody hell.
But lo and behold, on the wall was one of those blackboards. So thankfully I had a screwdriver, so I managed to unscrew it and take it home as a souvenir. And yeah, I got into another one once, managed to get a little chef light shade out of that one. Yeah,
God, you really have got a proper stash then.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. In fact, the little chef light shade's in active service. It's in my kitchen.
I was going to say, well, that would be fun, wouldn't it? Setting up a room as accurately as you could as a little chef.
My goal is to have a man cave and call it the little shed, and I'll just set it up like a little chef, basically. That's what I'm aspiring to. Currently I have a second floor 2-bedroom flat, so we're going to have to do some going before we can get a man cave, unfortunately. Let's put it on stilts.
Go past the street.
I've got
and
my
turn
heart
left
set
onto
on a
Chapel
blue
Street.
breakfast plate.
Yeah, it's funny. I always prioritise the maps more
To Chapel Street,
over the
then
plates.
turn
The more we
left.
talk about them, the more I think, you know what, actually I need to get more little chef crockery in my life.
Go past these lights, then bear left onto Pentridge Road.
So you've got an early starter plate?
I've got 2 early starter plates.
That's it.
Yeah, so
Do you use them or display them?
no, I've just got them currently sitting in my big box of merch stash at the moment.
Bear left.
But no, I got them totally by
In a
accident.
quarter of a mile.
I'm
keep left.
quite well known in my friend circles and work circles for being a bit of a little chef fan.
Right.
And yeah, I got a message one of the girls I work with got a message one day going, "Oh, my mum used to work for a little chef and she's found these plates. Think Alan would like them?" I'm like, yes, Alan totally would. So the point where she was going to give them to me, she didn't want anything for them. I'm like, well, look, believe me, I want them, but I know how much these change hands for, so I'm not going to take them for nothing. I'm going to have to buy you something because I just wouldn't feel right otherwise. But yeah, 2 pristine little chef plates turned up.
Wow.
And I think they're 1995 date stamped on the backs. They must be some of the last of the red ones before the Granada era came in 96. But yeah, I think I've definitely got to get some blue ones in my life now as well.
I wonder if any will ever come up again.
I think they will. Just say I'm convinced there will be stashes of them in ex-little chefs and
See, when that one went for 73 quid on eBay,
yeah.
I thought maybe that'll bring some out. It was a bloody hell, I've got a couple of them knocking about. I had no idea it was worth that kind of money.
Because I'd never seen them make that kind of money before. They were always around the 20 to 40 mark, but yeah, never up to the 70s. But yeah,
But I've actually used mine now.
yes, I remember the video.
And
everything tasted better off it, of course.
it did. It honestly did. People will say, bullshit. But I mean, obviously it's probably psychosomatic, but it bloody did taste better.
Yes, it doesn't matter if it was or not. If it worked, then all well and good.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I think exactly like you, my childhood memories of Little Chef, partly because they were kind of my thing on journeys because I was the navigator and I got to choose where we stopped. But yeah, it was that idea of if you were in a Little Chef, it meant you were on holiday, you'd broken your routine, you were going somewhere exciting, you were likely going to be going and seeing people that you hardly ever got to see and spend time with them. And in my case, we never got cooked breakfasts at home unless it was Christmas. So yeah, getting a cooked breakfast was a total novelty. So
I never even got one at Christmas.
yeah, we got one. Never actually on Christmas Day itself. Usually it was a Boxing Day thing, I think, for us. You would get a cooked breakfast.
With me, it was a more regular thing because my mum was a terrible cook, absolutely bloody awful. And when she eventually passed her driving test, she loved driving, and so a lot of our time together was just spent going on a drive, and we'd go to a Little Chef because she couldn't be asked to cook. And
Totally fair.
she would, and she loved her breakfast. So anywhere that you can get an all-day breakfast is all right in her book. Am I going the wrong way?
Turn left onto Main Road, then the destination is on your left.
Is it? Okay, thank you.
She sounds like a thoroughly sensible character to me. I think anybody that appreciates a good breakfast has a good egg.
Yeah.
In my book, definitely.
But then it also factored into the bike as well, because if I was hostling with my dad, or if we were out with the club on a social ride when I was younger, rather than a full training ride, then Little Chef would be the stop of choice. Toasted tea cakes and coffee or tea.
Seed of repeat business.
Yes.
Beautiful thing.
I miss few opportunities.
Quite right.
I used to love when I was full-time selling on eBay the classic and vintage cycle equipment. I loved it when somebody came to collect in person rather than me posting it out to them, because I became Arkwright. I wouldn't it broke my heart if I had to let them out of the building without them buying something extra.
Well, that's the way a lot of companies operate, isn't it? It's all about the upsell.
Yeah.
So you're quite right. The thing is though, if you're doing something that you genuinely enjoy and you're passionate about, you can make it sound ridiculously interesting to anyone.
Yeah, people say I'm a good salesman, and I'm not, because I can't sell something that I don't believe in, and I never have been able to. That's why I could never have sold new cars, or I could never have sold normal second-hand cars. I was a brilliant classic and sports car and vintage car salesman, yes, because I'm passionate about them.
Absolutely.
And that's what works as well.
So where did that come from then? Did you always have that love of classic and sports cars, or did it kind of come later in life?
No, I was brought up with them. I was taken home from hospital in Bristol. Well, I was conceived in a Bristol.
That's impressive. Many people could say they were conceived in Bristol, but not in a Bristol. That's brownie points.
My dad's best friend and best man was a guy called Bristol Brian, the biggest Bristol dealer.
Oh yes, I remember you talking about that in one of the lives.
And I was brought up on and around his place. I drove my first Rolls Royce when I was like 9 years old.
Like Danny, champion of the world.
So yeah, and when you're brought up with stuff, you don't learn stuff. You just kind of absorb it.
Yes.
And so yeah, it's always been an absolute passion, and I found that you can't do a hard sell on an enthusiast. It'll put them off, it'll alienate them. But an enthusiast will always respond to another enthusiast, and they'll respond well, and they'll recognise that you're on the same level. So I used to get asked sometimes what was the sale I was proudest of, and I'm racking my brains trying to think what the car was. It was a relatively basic entry-level classic. I honestly can't remember what it was. Let's say it was an MGB or something like that. And I remember it being one of the hardest deals I've ever done in my life. It was a father and son. They'd launched a new business. It was doing all right, and they wanted a classic car jointly between them for all of the reasons that we all want a classic car.
Absolutely,
go to the shows on a Sunday, blah 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 blah.
We have like a couple of overgrown children. That's what my dad and I have got one for.
They'd worked their bottoms off at this business, and the money was so hard earned, it was going to be very hard spent.
Yes.
And they'd never owned a classic before, and they'd heard all of these horror stories about this, that and the other, and it was just the hardest deal to do. It took like 2 or 3 weeks to get it over the line, and it wasn't a stupid amount of money or anything like that. It was like a $5,000 car, something like that. So, you know, a relatively significant amount of money, but not a silly amount of money.
Yeah, and like you say, it's people that, they know the value of that money because they've worked really hard for it. So like, right, this is going to be our bit of fun. We want to get this right.
It took 3 weeks, dotting every I, crossing every T. But I totally understood it, so I went along with everything, went out of my way, went over the top. And they bought this car, and kind of didn't see them again for about 18 months. And they came back, in the car. I might not have remembered them, but I always remember cars. Terrible with people, great with cars. And they'd come back to buy a Ferrari, a classic Ferrari.
Nice.
Their business had taken off, and they wanted to upgrade their classic. And, you know, whatever. We obviously had a few in at the time. And but I remember thinking, Christ almighty, Right. They took 3 weeks over a BGT or whatever it was. This deal, if they're going to buy a Ferrari, this is going to take 6 months to work through.
Yes.
I'm kind of dreading it. And there was one particular car. I honestly can't remember what it was. I think it was a Mondial, but it was the QV Mondial. So yeah, not absolutely a Ferrari, but not a silly one either. At least it was the QV. And we had a good old chat about it, and we drove it, and I told them everything that I knew about the car. It was a car I knew. It was a car I knew very well, and they said, "Fine, we'll have it." And I said, "Okay, great. So you'll want to check this and check that. So should we get it booked in?" And they said, "No, you said it's okay. We'll have it."
Yeah. I think the very fact that when they came back to see you, they were driving the car that you sold them. Shows, it's held up pretty well. They've obviously got confidence in it.
That's a good sign, isn't it?
Yes, when it shows up on the back of an AA lorry, I suppose it's probably slightly less fortuitous.
That used to happen after a week, not after a year and a half. Oh God, yeah, the dreaded AA lorry. I've just been super cheeky, darlings, and because this is one way you have to block the street, I got Alan to take it to the door.
They're very friendly as well, but then it's good because I get to make people happy by handing them food.
Yeah. And you are, of course, an entirely untrained taker of food, but then so am I.
I was surprised I didn't eat it between there and our doorstep. I have form. But yeah, I'm an untrained entity. I can do anything.
So where is Rustival?
Rustival's down at the British Motor Museum at Gaydon again.
Oh, okay.
So when they did the Rustival back in March, was it the first one? It was down there. I think it's because it's got such a huge kind of exhibition outdoor area that's not on a giant boggy field. So yeah, it worked really, really well last time.
Did you meet any of them?
Yes, I've met a few of them a few times now. So when they first did their stand in the exhibition centre
Yeah.
at one of the classic car shows, it was Matt, Hubnut and Steph all kind of went in together. So
Right.
I'd gone down for that because I want to meet these guys. So I met them there, and then yeah, when I got to Rustival, I think I met them all that time apart from Ian, just because he was always running around doing something. But yeah, I kind of know Steph and Matt to chat to now. Met Miss Hubnut for the first time as well.
Oh, the lovely Carly.
Lovely Carly indeed, who's lovely, exactly as you see her on camera. Basically, she's
I
in
imagine
person.
she is. I've never met them. The only I've met Matt, and Matt is. I love Matt to bits.
Matt's brilliant. Matt was the first one of them that I discovered. I was sitting in my bed in 2020 with COVID, first time round,
Right.
and it was absolute hell. I was like, what am I going to do to entertain myself? Because I wonder if anyone's ever done a review online of an Austin Metro recently. So I went and looked it up, and then up popped Furious Driving.
Okay.
I'm like, I'm gonna sit and watch that, and then YouTube works its magic, shows you more of his videos, shows you Hubnut popped up, Joseph Lloyd popped up, Steph popped up, so before I knew it, I was following them all. But yeah, I'm very, very grateful to these people. I was one of the lucky ones who kept working through lockdown. We didn't get furloughed or anything, so I kind of kept my routine. But because you couldn't do the same amount of stuff outside or whatever because things were shut down, I did spend a lot more time watching YouTube videos, so that kind of occupied my time.
Yeah.
So I credit the online motoring YouTube community with keeping me sane during lockdown, basically. So it's kind of one of the reasons why I wanted to go down and meet them, just really to say thank you. It's like you guys probably don't realise when you're sitting in front of a camera, actually the effect that your videos are having on people. The fact that you're actually kind of keeping people going, giving them something to enjoy, giving them a little bit of, I suppose, a constant through these kind of weird and wonderful times. And that's why I'm quite keen to go down to Rustival, because yeah, there's lots of other creators that I haven't met who, again, I would say exactly the same for. They've all made my life happier, basically. So I like to thank them for it. I would say the same with you as well. It's one of the reasons why I wanted to come down and meet you, because yeah, thoroughly enjoy the
I was a bit like that with Matt. So I went to his thing, wherever it was. I can't remember the name of the place. One of the very well-known car meaty places.
Oh, yeah, like the Motorist or something.
That's the one, the Motorist.
Yes.
So I went to his thing there, and I kind of said to him, "Oh, really enjoy your stuff, but by the way, blah 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 blah." Yeah. And he said something like, "Oh my God!" And hey, what? He said, "I didn't believe that you really existed. I couldn't." I didn't think that you could really exist in real life. I thought you were some sort of put together weird wind-up thing just to give people anxiety dreams. I said, "You don't know who I am." He said, "I bloody do."
To be fair, you're a lot taller in real life. I knew you are about 6'5", but then, yeah, you can never kind of quite get that appreciation on camera. I suppose because we see you beside Mustard.
Yeah.
Mustard, albeit it's not as tall as you, but he's still quite tall. Back to New York again. You don't appreciate how tall the skyscrapers are because they're surrounded by other ones, basically. But yeah, when you came and met me at the table there, I'm like, whoa, Boaty's got quite a presence.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of me on a vertical plane.
That's a good thing.
I remember this now. This is an absolute nightmare.
Oh, one of these ones doesn't have a turning circle.
Yeah. Where did I do it? Oh no. Right, prepare yourself for a 59,000.
So we're gonna have an Austin Powers moment here.
What's an Austin Powers? I've never seen that.
There's one where he's in a factory and he's got one of those wee carts that they use to like ferry stuff around, and he gets it jammed in like an aisle and hands it on to do like a 30-point turn. So I would have thought you'd be all over Austin Powers stuff for all the wonderful innuendo which takes place in it.
I can't remember when it came about. There were big parts of my life where I had nothing to do with television or film, including the whole of the last 9 years.
Well, that's fair. Life can get in the way sometimes.
Yeah. I don't know, there have been big swathes of my life where I just seem to have been incredibly busy.
Yeah, and that's not a bad thing.
Somebody said to me in one of the comments on one of the Drony life story videos that you seem to have crammed many lifetimes into just the one. And I suppose I kind of have in a way.
Yeah. See, it'd be a very interesting man to sit down and interview and just be like, right, let's start from the beginning here. It'll probably take about, I don't know, several weeks, months to go through it all. But that's brilliant. There's a lot of people in life who haven't really lived that have been like, what have I done for the last sort of 50 years of my life? So, yeah, nothing more interesting than someone with life experience that's happy to talk about it.
But I would listen to anybody because everybody's got their own story to tell.
Yeah, you're right.
And to me, they're equally interesting because the interest is on, I don't know how to say it, but the interest is in their reaction to their lived experience, I suppose, isn't it?
Sometimes I think when you're asking them questions about it, they've never actually been asked before.
Yeah.
They're possibly relaying information and trying to think about it or process it for the first time. And like, oh, actually, yeah, that did happen, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's how I dealt with that. And now I think about it, that was a weird thing to do. So yeah, it can be very, very interesting.
And you kind of get that thing that you're talking about there. You kind of, when you make a video rambling about all of this crap, it's like somebody asking you the questions and the stuff that you remember. Now, when I did the one just yesterday, the day before, whenever it was, the pub restaurant one.
Yes.
I'd completely forgotten that at the Hollybush there was that gay chef, and I'd forgotten how that affected me in two separate ways. The one was that I'd never had any kind of close contact. I don't mean physical contact, but I'd never been around a gay guy.
No.
And you know, my generation, when we were growing up, gay was an insult.
Oh,
and,
completely, yeah.
All of that, and you didn't understand that sort of thing. And that completely changed my mindset, because I realised that that it doesn't matter, you know, where somebody pops their little tinkle behind closed doors. It's none of your business.
Yeah,
really.
absolutely. Doesn't change who they are as a person or their character or
exactly
how you relate to them ultimately.
And he was just such a nice guy, and we got on so well. And that also put to bed the idea that that somebody who was homosexual would be automatically predatory.
Yes.
Because that's bollocks as well. Why, you know, why would a particular a gender preference, why would that make you more predatory? It's nonsense.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that was the one thing it put to bed. And it was him who gave me my real love of food, of really good food. I mean, lots of people love food, and you know, you love food. You love food that you like, whether it's comfort food, whatever. But he gave me a love for good food, because again, he was my first contact in life with an actual chef, a proper, I can make anything from scratch chef, and that was an absolute bloody eye-opener for me.
And I think if you like food anyway, you've got someone that's an absolute sort of alchemist when it comes to being able to turn it into amazing things, then yeah, your eyes are like, whoa.
But the thing was that I hadn't remembered that or thought about that for however long it's been, 30 years. And so the fact that I made a crappy little video about something gave me that memory, and that was important.
Ah. So yeah, how did you meet Mustard then? Was that a car gathering? Was it one of his lives, or commenting on one of his videos, or?
I'd found his videos, and I thought, I like this guy, I'd like to meet him. And I needed, the Honourable H.J. Rover was my daily at the time, and it got that floppy sun visor thing.
Oh, aye.
And it was driving me absolutely mental. And there wasn't one for sale on eBay. Didn't really know where else to look. So I asked Mustard if he had one, and he said, yeah. So I arranged to go and collect it from him. He could have posted it, but I thought I'd like to meet the guy. So went up to the yard, and the first words he said to me were something outrageous, like
are you a nice guy or a wrong un?
No, he said, I can remember what he said. He said you're like a really fucking bad Nigel Farage tribute act. And I thought, yeah,
I like you.
I'm gonna like you.
Aye.
And yeah, so just went up to get the sun visor and ended up staying there for ages, and just kind of went back another day, and we started filming stuff, because that was right in my early days. Mustard was my 13th subscriber, so I'd literally only done about, I'd probably only done literally a handful of videos at that point, maybe only 2 or 3.
But it's great content to be starting with in the early days, because I think everyone can relate to it. We've all got that mate that we can have that ridiculous conversation with and just absolutely take the piss out of.
Yeah.
I've got 2 really good mates that were both my best men when I got married, and yeah, we can just do that. We'll just rip into each other, and it's hilarious.
But going back to talking about Joseph, I didn't think that we would get on. I thought that I would like him, because maybe in a different kind of way, but you know, we've got public school background in common, all of that kind of thing. But I didn't think that he would like me, and the first time we met was at that Furious Driving Do. And I just literally grabbed him and said, come here, we need a photograph with you. And he looked really taken aback and a bit shocked, and I thought, yeah, I've terrified that guy. He will literally run away from me in future. And yeah, we became really friendly. When he came to, he had family up by me, not with us any longer, but he knew the area quite well, and he was coming up to take care of some family business, and so he came round to the oh god. Okay.
And you need me to hold again.
Hang on, I don't even know where I'm going yet. Hold on. Oh hell, okay. And this one is. Oh right, okay, right. Well, it's gonna be that one first.
It's one of them for Emma. Are we going to Norwich?
Oh, that'd be fun.
That'd be quality.
Well, actually, it wouldn't be fun. It's a terrible drive to Norwich. I absolutely hated it the last time. The drive home was alright, so I had company, but getting there, I totally lost the bloody will to live.
Everything's very flat.
Yes.
You don't kind of get the journey features to the same extent. And because there's not really very much dual carriageway, if you get stuck behind something, you're there for a very long period of time.
Is that a 5:15? I think. 15. There we go. Okay. Oh, sit on that.
If you want some peace and quiet, feel free to throw me out at any time, but I'm genuinely very much enjoying this.
No, you're cool. What was I saying?
Talking about Joseph,
Yeah.
Feeling like you wouldn't get on with him.
So we arranged he was going to come and visit me at home, and I thought, oh, that'll be all right. We'll do a bit of filming, blah 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 blah. He'll be here for an hour or whatever. Not a bit of it. He was there all day. I forgot I had to go to work, and we just chatted non-stop for about 6 hours, and it was fabulous.
He's a man with an incredible knowledge and an incredible ability to store knowledge and be able to recall it.
But he's also got a sense of humour that you wouldn't necessarily
Oh yes,
pick up on from the videos.
yeah, very much. I remember, Rubbish Mechanics say exactly the same thing. Because I think he thought because they were both very different personalities, again, they wouldn't really get on. But I think they'd both ended up meeting each other at, I think, what, a Hobnuts?
Starting route to
Socials.
15 Willow Avenue. Head south on Wall Street, then take the first left onto Church Street.
Now, Mr. Coleman and Joseph very much wanted to come and do a Mustard and Boaty do lunch with in the caravan.
Yes.
But sadly, don't think that's going to happen now. We couldn't find a date where we could do it, and now Mr. George Roger Boaty is going, of course.
Yeah, it's very sad.
It is sad. It is sad, but then on the other hand, we haven't
Turn
done...
left.
Typical of me and Mustard, we had all these plans. We haven't done any of them. It's like the
Turn
bloody cars.
right
It's
onto
just been
Nottingham Road, then take
shoved
the
in the
first
yard
right
and
onto
left
Grosvenor
there to
Road.
die, the same as everything else.
I still love the idea of a series of adult children's books with Mustard and Boaty do. Like Mustard and Boaty go to the fair,
Turn
and Mustard and
right
Boaty
onto Grosvenor
go...
Road, then take the
Mustard and
first
Boaty sleep
left
together,
onto High
and it's
Street.
like the day where you sleep in the caravan at the same time and things.
Yeah, the full Morecambe and Wise.
Yeah.
Sitting up in our pyjamas, smoking a pipe.
Exactly.
And
I'm
right,
having a go at
turn
writing a
left
Mustard
onto
and
High
Boaty
Street.
story for a laugh.
Yeah.
I think the fairground one could be quite good fun, yeah. I think there is genuinely a market for those sort of children's style books, but in a kind of adult fashion. Like there was a whole Ladybird one about, not building piling tree houses and
At the
things.
roundabout, take the third exit.
Like the hipster, all that kind of stuff.
Well, it's a bit like the Wogan, Janet and John.
Yeah, very much.
I was always so annoyed I hadn't written those.
What I loved about I
tell people, I'm very quick to tell people that I used to write for Wogan.
yes.
But then I never tell them what I wrote, because I did all the crappy bits. I didn't do any of the good stuff. The good stuff were the Janet and Johns and Chuffer Dandridge. Chuffer was two people actually. He wasn't written just by one. I did all the crappy fill-in bits that nobody would ever remember.
Nothing wrong with
At
that.
the roundabout, take the third exit.
But I still say the most genius thing I've ever seen. So you've got this guy being paid huge amounts of money. He doesn't write any of his own material. He just turns up hungover in the morning and reads it out. And then the people who give him his material and don't get paid for it, he puts it all into a book once a year and sells it back to
Yeah.
them.
No, it's absolutely genius.
Right onto Woodside Avenue.
Yeah, I was always, well, I say always quite amazed. I know it varies from person to person, but I remember I ended up getting to meet Dermot O'Leary through his Radio 2 show.
Oh, okay.
Can't remember if I ever posted that in any of the
Turn right
comments on
onto
any
Woodside
Facebook page or
Avenue,
anything.
Then take the first
No,
left onto
that's
Oak
new
Avenue.
news to me.
Well, Dermot had this cracking feature for a while where he was trying to champion the underappreciated 90s classic. And that was right in my sort of sweet spot of music,
Then take the first
effectively.
left onto Willow Avenue.
Oh,
So,
God.
the idea was he would get his viewers to write in with what they thought was an underappreciated 90s song, state the case for why it should be the victor for that week. And then he would play it and they would basically be like the king or the
Turn
queen
left
of that
onto
week.
Willow Avenue.
And then
Okay.
the next week someone had to try and phone in and knock them off with a better song, ultimately.
All right.
So there was a girl called Jenny that had been winning it for weeks, and I had only then just found out about this feature by chance. I'm like, I reckon I could totally knock her off. And I remember, coming up with a few suggestions and being like, oh, this is great. And then, managing, getting this email back going, oh, we really like the sound of this. Do you want to go on air and talk about why you chose your choice? I'm like, aye, fine, let's do it. So I did that, and then, the first thing I got was this message straight back from this Jenny girl going, like, trash talking me basically, and going, you think you've done well this week, but I'm going to come back. So every week we used to have this trash talking thing going on. And at the end of it, I've done with you now. It's like, you know what? We've spent so long speaking to each other. We really should meet up and discuss 90s classics a bit more. So I ended up, she was down in London. I ended up going down to London for a few days, catching up with some mates, and then met her in the process.
Oh, cool.
So I ended up going down and meeting her, and then we were like, son, let's just go for a drive somewhere. So we ended up driving down from London to Brighton, having a day out in Brighton, just chatting about this, that, and everything, and it was cracking. And then I think we ended up, after the feature finished, like writing to the producer again and going, we struck up a friendship now off the back of this feature. And they were like, oh yeah, well, if you want to come in and watch one of the film or one of the shows basically being made one day, then come along. Dermot would love to meet you. So, two of us went into Wogan House one day and got to sit in the wee production room and watch the show going out. And you got to watch Dermot arriving. And again, I thought he would be in really, really early, kind of looking through the notes. Turned out about 10 minutes beforehand, went through and went, yep, all good. And then, basically winged it for the whole show, ultimately. But it was great. We got to meet him, we got to meet all the producers, we got to meet Sally Traffic, which is probably one of my biggest highlights.
Fabulous.
But it's great how you strike up these unexpected friendships and they take you off in really weird directions you never would have seen.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing that I bless YouTube for more than anything else.
Oh, definitely.
It's really changed my social life beyond all recognition.
Yes. But I think I think you probably do appreciate it, but I think what a lot of YouTubers probably don't appreciate is that it changes other people's social lives as well, because suddenly, people start following your content, commenting on things, coming out to your live streams, and it becomes a feature of their lives as well, so.
Well, I always hoped something like that might happen, which is why I always pushed it as a community thing, rather than this is me making videos, you all watch me and I earn money. I tried to make it a community thing because I'd gone down that road with singles, and it became evident quite early on that the same thing might well work with YouTube, and it's been amazing. It's crazy to think that because of a YouTube channel, somebody came over from Australia and I met them. That's bizarre, but it's not just about me. Other people are meeting up and making
very much
forming friendships and all of that. I think that's brilliant. I think that's absolutely brilliant, and I know that the live streams have made a genuine difference for certain people in certain circumstances. So I'm a little bit proud of that.
I think you should be. You've effectively created the platform that's allowed people to come out, interact, and I think there probably would be a lot more people that would be sitting at home feeling a bit lonely, not really doing anything, but you're giving them a chance to actually talk to people. I know some people don't like meeting people in person, they would rather kind of be in a home sort of situation and behind a screen, but yeah, it enables that.
Yeah, like Jimmy, we tried everything to get Jimmy to come and meet us in Great Yarmouth, and he absolutely wasn't having it. We tried begging, bribery, you name it, wouldn't have it. And he's such a, well, he seems to be such a absolutely lovely bloke. I'm, you know, massive supporter of the channel. He's never missed a live stream. He comments on every single video without exception. Been a channel member forever. And from the sound of it, him and his wife do a lot of really good stuff themselves. They do all the food bank stuff and everything, don't they?
Yeah, it's incredible what you discover about people just through doing it as well. I find people fascinating. I blame my mother for it, because she was one of these people that has the reputation of, if she comes and meets someone, she'll ask them a million questions. But
yeah, people are fascinating.
Absolutely. But yeah, I think it's kind of rubbed off on me, because it's amazing what you do learn about people. And I think people genuinely quite, in a lot of cases, they quite like the fact that you actually take the time to ask them about themselves as well.
Yeah, yeah. Then you get the gobby idiots like me who don't need to be asked. You just...
But that's great, because...
turn a camera on and I'll ramble on for 6 hours about...
I think people genuinely need that, to be honest. I think it encourages other people to interact.
I had a comment on the video that went up today, I think it was, or the one from yesterday, and somebody said, I don't understand why you don't get more views. My wife and I find you really entertaining and your videos really enjoyable. And I thought, well, yeah, part of me thinks that as well, but most of me thinks I'm amazed I get any bloody views.
It's a weird thing, I think, because you're not sitting there in front of an actual physical audience, seeing people actually reacting to what you're saying. You're kind of seeing it almost kind of through comments that are coming in. It's more difficult almost to appreciate, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I think, I've said before, I think you do tap into something which we can all relate to. And I think it's the fact there's somebody there that you can bounce off.
Drunkenness and flatulence.
Hey, look, it's definitely two things I can relate to. I find as I get older, my ability to produce really, really lengthy farts improves as well. Rather than just the sort of the short ones, the ones that will go on for sort of seconds at a time.
I had the best night, not last night, the night before. After the live stream finished, I did 7 or 8 within a space of 15 to 20 minutes, and every one was a 10 out of 10. Every one. I hadn't done one like that for maybe 6 months, and I did 8 of them in 20 minutes. And no camera running. Typical.
I think my proudest farting memory was in bed with my wife, and I farted while she was asleep. And I woke her up because she thought it was a bee. I woke up with this start, she's like, there's a bee, there's a buzzing. She thought me just absolutely pissing myself. Laughing at her.
I think my proudest one was probably in Malta, and I was out on the balcony and I felt a really good one come on, and so I expressed it with full sincerity.
It'd be rude not to.
Thinking, of course, that I'm in my own private hotel space. You forget, of course, there's a balcony to your left, to your right, above you and below you. And all 4 of them gave me a round of applause. Genuinely. Oh, God.
Same as when you're in a tent as well, because you can't see anyone, you automatically think that you're kind of cocooned.
Yeah.
But then you forget that canvas isn't the most soundproofed of materials. Oh.
I managed to avoid that by not having been tenting as an adult. And thank God managed to escape Neil's idea of the community camping trip. I was dreading that happening.
Well, they say that to grow tired of London is to grow tired of life. I think to grow tired of toilet humour is to grow tired of life.
Oh God.
I think if it ever gets to the point where I stop laughing at farts, then yeah, euthanize me basically. give me the pill, give me the injection, because clearly I've lost.
I maintain that the best videos I've made were Boaty's box. I'm very proud of Boaty's box.
It's a brilliant thing.
I stopped doing them because of the messages I was getting.
Some people just, I don't know, have no soul. I say it's one of the greatest social levelers, something we could all relate to. It's something that I think we all find funny, whether people admit it or not. I think you get some people that pretend that they don't think it's funny, but deep down they know it is.
Of course it's funny. Good old toilet here.
Absolutely. It's at that moment where you're in a public toilet cubicle somewhere and someone comes up to the one next to you and unleashes absolute hell. You're sitting there biting your fist, trying not to laugh.
Well, I had that recent experience at the Heights of Abraham. That was all absolutely true.
The shites of Abraham.
Yeah.
It was unleashing.
It was horrendous. Because there's no way that I could control it. You know, there's no way that I could keep the door shut until that poor chap has had his wee, washed his hands and buggered off. Oh, God almighty. And it was, you know, you wouldn't have to go that far back in my life and I'd have been so mortified I would have probably gone home, but I just had to laugh.
I think you do. I think yeah, it's one of those things that we've all been there, haven't we? So I think everyone can relate. Yes, I had a night like that, and then I discovered that chocolate covered pretzels don't agree with me.
Oh dear. Did they look any different coming out to when they went in?
Not really, they sounded pretty different, to be fair. I thought you were about to say good evening caller there for a moment. So this was Mr. Stephen Parry from Port Sunlight on the Wirral.
Good evening, mystery caller. It's funny that there's like 100 people or so who every time a certain telephone ring on a train or whatever think, it's Mr. Stephen Parry from Port Sunlight in the Wirral.
It was like when Trigger Happy TV was on, you got that Nokia ringtone, the diddly-doo, diddly-doo, diddly-doo-doo. You get folk just going, hello, I'm in the library, it's crap. But yeah, Mr. Stephen Parry has become immortalised, and quite rightly so.
Yeah, absolutely.
What was someone called him once? It was like it was like Parkinson with ADHD.
I don't remember that. Oh dear, oh dear.
Yeah, he's sort of firing off in all directions with his questions. But yeah, he sounds like a really top chap.
He does, doesn't he?
He does.
He does, to be fair. With his steak and chips with tomato ketchup.
That's it.
There aren't many bad uns in them, and
No.
You know, maybe a couple of people have been filtered out over the time that we've been going, but I mean, they're a cracking bunch on the whole.
Yeah. See, Neil and Sophie seem decent as well.
Oh, Neil and Sophie are just utterly lovely. Utterly lovely. Genuinely, the pair of them have got hearts as big as a house.
Yeah, that's definitely the impression that comes across. See, it's always nice when that transpires that way in real life. Not that I doubted that it would, but yeah, it's nice when it's proven to be the case.
Neil is a genuinely nice man, and it's kind of cool when he knows you well enough to let loose bad Neil when he rips it out of you. You know, the kind of thing that we were talking about before.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh God, he's had me in stitches sometimes. But I mean, he shows that in the live streams now.
Yeah, very much. He comes out with some absolutely cracking comments.
Which is nice. Yeah, they're absolutely lovely. Got to know them really well now, of course. I mean, they've stayed with me.
How did you meet them
times.
originally then?
How did I meet them? They were just viewers, and then they appeared on a live stream. I can't remember the first. I'm trying to remember what the first time we met in real life. When the first time we met in real life was, and I honestly can't remember.
Because there's the other bloke, isn't it? JC does cars. That's we're always friends with them or something as well.
Was, yeah.
Who's appeared on your channel a couple of times.
Yeah. Yeah, that didn't go well.
Oh dear.
Never mind, these things happen. See, that's one of the things I was prepared for, because I'd experienced all of that with singles. You'll have somebody who will be a massive part of the community, and they'll be a really integral part, and they'll be very friendly with you personally, and then suddenly they'll either just disappear or they'll completely turn on you. So I was prepared for a few of those episodes along the way, and I wasn't disappointed. But
It's a shame when it's someone that I suppose you would consider within your kind of closer group of friends that is quite close to you when it happens. You think, yeah, why didn't see that one coming? Why did that happen like that?
yeah. But hey ho.
Yes, thankfully for all the people that turn out to be a bit weird and wonderful, there's several more that thankfully are, yeah, a lot more straightforward. What you get is what you see.
Yeah. But it's you know, when you have any form of interaction with a fair-sized group of people, there's going to be all sorts in there.
Oh yeah.
And I like that, and I love that. One of the things I love is the fact that people who are so disparate in terms of age or background or whatever all get on in a community melting pot.
Yeah, very much.
I think that's brilliant. It's like, you know, friends with Neil and Sophie. We're like at least one, if not two generations apart.
But you're able to find common ground and things that, you can relate to each other on. That's I find that brilliant.
Yeah, to the point where it's not like, oh yeah, I can get on with this person over dinner or over an evening.
Yeah,
or
so I genuinely want to spend more time with these people because they
exactly
make me happy.
Exactly that.
I think that's a great thing. Once you get to a certain sort of age, like when you look at school and the idea of like an 18-year-old dating a 14-year-old would be a complete no-no, but yeah, once you get into your 20s or your 30s, then even like a 20-year age gap becomes, not a taboo thing ultimately.
Yeah, it can be problematic.
Well, that is true. That is true.
What was the gap between me and Chinese Madam? Yeah, that was about 18, 19 years. Bless her.
Oh, is she the one that was studying or doing the PhD at the time?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a lot of work.
Oh, they must have been busy because Samyog's had to take some out as well.
Ooh.
All hands on deck. Right,
That's it.
Let's go and see if there's any more waiting.
Aye. Sounds good.
Right then, darlings. We have exhausted the deliveries. We had a busy little spell there. Some of them were about to be late, so Samuel got to take out the others, and there are no more. So I guess it's time for this little adventure. You've got to get to Birmingham, haven't you?
Yeah, right enough, so I do. It's a travel lodge, I can arrive anytime and they'll not bat an eyelid. It's all good.
Yeah, but you're going to be up early in the morning. You don't want to be hitting the sack too late, do you?
This is true. This is true.
Are you going to have a little drinky tonight, or is it good boy straight to bed?
That's a good question. There is a Toby Carvery right next to my travel lodge, right enough, so stranger things have happened. If there's last orders, I might go and get myself a wee cheeky one. I think actually I've got a lot of random bottle of whiskey in my car, now I think about it, just like a miniature. Got a wee snifter tonight, why not?
I think that would be well in order.
Definitely.
Well in order.
Totally kind of keeping the Scottish stereotypes here alive by having a small bottle of whiskey around my person at any time. Like some sort of Scottish St Bernard.
I always used to carry an emergency half bottle of vodka in the car.
It's a good idea. You never know when it can come in useful.
Yeah.
Very good at cleaning things as well, vodka, isn't it?
I don't know, I've never wasted it. I mean, it's cleared out my innards every now and then, but... Right then, darlings, time to bring this one to an end. Send this fine gentleman on his way to Birmingham, and I suppose I'll have to go in there and do some work now. No rest for the wicked.
Very true.
But thank you very much for your company, sir. It's been an absolute pleasure to meet you.
Oh, thank you.
And hopefully it won't be the last time.
No, well, thank you for letting me join you. And yeah, I think there are...
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry you had to get dragged out and do bloody deliveries.
Aye, great fun.
Of all the nights for the driver to bloody fall on his sword, but thank you for being a good sport.
I found out more about you, more about Janet, more about Ripley. It's been a win-win situation. It's been beautiful.
Right, so well, I think we might as well wrap this. Yeah, I won't say good night to you later on, darlings. I will say good night to you now, because I suspect this is already going to be quite a long video. And can I be asked to edit it? Almost certainly not. I'll probably just put it out as it is, warts and all.
Quite right.
Let them live the random experience.
Exactly. See what happens in the fine front seats of a Rover 25.
Absolutely.
It's what happens in the back seats that you need to be more worried about.
I can report that these back seats have been unsullied by anybody's bare bottom in my company.
Well,
God, I'm slipping, aren't I?
There were a couple of times where you went out and delivered food, though. You don't know what I was up to while you weren't there.
God above, I didn't need that image.
No,
Right then,
I didn't that
darlings.
image either.
Thank you very much for watching, and shall I go? Oh, they don't want me to go through the whole blather, do they? They'll get it all on the bloody live stream either. Right, thanks for watching. Bugger off. See you on the next one.
Goodbye, honourable community.
Yes, goodbye, honourable community. Should we do a pachu and bosh?
Good.
I'll pachu, you bosh.
Will do.
And on that note, pachu and indeed.
Bosh.
Oh, that was a gentle one.
Thank you.
See you, darlings.